Do you want to be more productive? I can tell you, you don't need any productivity hack anywhere to make you more productive. What you need is deep, focused work whenever you're working. And here are 5 ways to design your environment so that you can do deep, focused work consistently every time you work. Number one, schedule your work in advance, preferably the night before. You see, when you schedule your work in advance before the time you're going to do the work, you give your head, you give your mind some space to think about how you're going to do your work. You give your mind space to think, to come up with solutions, to come up with ideas on how to accomplish your work. And it also gives you clarity on what you're going to do. So if you have your work schedule the day before you're going to do the work, then you go to bed that night knowing exactly what you're going to do the next morning. So when you wake up in the morning, you're not asking yourself, what am I doing today? You are clear about what you're going to do. And most times, because you have scheduled the work in advance, when you go to bed, you wake up having some fresh ideas on how to go about your work. And that alone makes you more productive. Number two, create an environment for your deep focused work. Before you start the work, create an environment, the environment you're going to do your work in advance before your work time. Let your mind know exactly where you'll be working. Know when you're going to work, know for how long you're going to work, know how you're going to work. And if you have all that designed into an environment, then that environment reflects deep work in your mind. When you think about the environment you're going to work, you're thinking about how you're going to be focused, how you're going to concentrate on that work. So you're not, when it is time for work, you're not thinking about where you're going to work. You already know where you're going to do that work, and you've already put everything you will need. If you need your laptop, if you need notepad, pen, whatever you need for your work, you put it in that environment. So when you walk into that environment, you know it is time for your work. Number three, eliminate every form of distraction. Before you start your work, remove everything around you that has the potential of distracting you. Turn off every notification in your phone. In fact, if it is possible, keep your phone away from that room. Keep it in a separate room. When you're done with your work, you can always call people back. You can always reply messages. Make sure that in that environment, you are distraction free. Management guru Peter Drucker said, whenever he wants to do any form of deep work in the office, he will instruct his secretary not to allow anyone into his office except two people, his wife and the President of the United States of America. He said his wife knows, she understands that when he wants to do deep work, he doesn't want entertain any form of um, distraction, so she doesn't call. And the president hardly calls, so he almost always has the time, the focus for his work because he's always distraction free. Number four, embrace boredom. You know, many times when you're working in the middle of your work, you will get to a point where you get bored, you get tired, you will not know how to go about certain things. And in those occasions, many times people reach out to their phone, they try to do something to take away their attention from what they are doing. But if you stay with your task, if you resist every form of temptation to do something else other than what you're doing at the moment, then you lose your focus, you lose your concentration, and to get back into flow state will require some time. So embrace the boredom. When you get to that point where you're stuck, you don't know what to do next, just stay, think about how to tackle your task. Don't fall into the temptation of checking your phone, scrolling just to take your mind away from the work. No, that will take you away from the work completely. And getting back to flow state, like I mentioned earlier, will take some time. So embrace that boredom and don't get yourself distracted. Number five, work when you said you're going to work. The time you schedule for your work should be used for your work. You should not use it for any other thing except a really great emergency comes up. Otherwise, eliminate every other thing, but that one task only. Don't use that time for something else. So the next time you want to do any form of deep focused work, ensure to plan your work in advance, design the environment that you're going to do your work, eliminate every form of distraction, embrace boredom, and do the work the time you have scheduled to do the work. Look, deep work is a skill, and the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And the better you get, the more valuable you become as a person. So, taking the time to practice and get the art of doing deep work excellently well is worth your time and energy every single time.